We're back. My next guest tonight is a political analyst for CNN and co-host of its news magazine, CNN and Time. Please welcome Jeff Greenfield.
Thanks for the Richie Valens music.
Yeah.
My generation.
Yes, exactly. We think of you that way.
The Jared Olset, yeah.
Now, you're not that old. How old are you? Can you say?
Older than the president.
Really? You are?
Yes. More mature than the president, perhaps. But also older than the president.
Well, to you, it must be strange. It hasn't happened to me yet, and I'm happy, but when the president is, the first time the president is younger than you.
The first time. Yes.
And then it seems like
feelings of mortality. You know, first the cops look younger.
Right.
And then the baseball players look younger.
Right.
Then when the Supreme Court justices start looking younger, you really, it's just, and a couple of them are.
When the Chief Justice is like, can I help you?
That's
look,
right.
That's
right. Sir. Yeah, that's when the distinguished, when you start getting your first distinguished award, that means over and out.
It's over.
Absolutely.
But not the Crystal Apple.
No, well, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, real impressive. Those are hard to get, my friend.
Guess so.
You just have to register in this city.
Dear occupant.
Yeah, right. Would you like a Crystal Apple? Check yes. You have the difficult job, or you've had the difficult job of filling in sometimes for Larry King.
Yep.
On his show. Do you ever just get taken over with that Larry King vibe when you're doing it and start acting like Larry King when you do it, barking things out of, with no random order, you know? I mean,
let's go Altoona on line 6. You're on
yeah. Next question, St. Louis.
And I have not yet not yet done the suspenders thing. But what I did learn, Larry King is very, very deceptive because the questions seem kind of, you know, he doesn't do a lot of research, he'll tell you that. What he does is he knows exactly the question to ask. I mean, some of us study and we think, and Larry can get to a question. I once channeled him. I was interviewing Bill Gates before a group of cable TV people. Right. And I was asking, you know, the antitrust, the Microsoft, and then I realized, what would Larry King ask Bill Gates? And I asked him, what do you watch when you watch television?
Right.
And it turns out what he watches are the paintings on his walls that he's programmed to change that $80 million house. And what it turns out is, unsurprisingly, Bill Gates really doesn't watch the television you and I do because he's a different kind of guy.
He's a madman.
He's very smart is what he is.
Yeah.
But a question like that can sometimes reveal stuff that tons of research can't.
So you think there's a method behind it? Because sometimes I think Larry King's just gone crazy, you know? Because he asks questions that follow one another and then out of left field. Ever wear a bagel? You like soup? I like soup.
He gets stuff out of people that other people don't get, because what happens
is... Of course, because he asks questions.
Because...
Yes, I wear bagels sometimes, yeah.
Because when you're on the air with a journalist, politician types, they're armored. They're on the defensive. And you start asking easier or just relaxed questions, and you sometimes get people to open up. I mean, it's your interviewing technique, isn't it, Conan?
Yes, I put a lot of effort into my interviewing technique.
There you go.
Act like a boob. And see what people do, yeah.
You want fries with that? Now, that's
exactly,
a question you don't get on Meet the Press.
You did it many years, of course, on Nightline, and now you're having to fill the well every day with these new news magazine shows.
Yep.
What's it like when there's a day and just absolutely nothing happens? I mean, we have it sometimes here, but you can always find some kind of joke. For you, what do you do when there's nothing going on and you have to do a whole hour about some topic in the news?
Well, I'll tell you what actually happened at Nightline. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the then executive producer, now at CNN, Rick Kaplan, came out and said, I wish to make the following announcement to the staff. Tonight's show sucks. And he said, here's what we're going to do. I want everybody to write an idea and put it into this basket. We're going to start pulling ideas out of the basket. The first idea that doesn't suck, we're doing tonight. And that's what we did. There was some controversy about censoring Huck Finn in Chicago, and we sent out camera crews, and we booked guests, and he said to me, Greenfield, you've read Huck Finn? I said, well, yeah. He said, you're doing the piece. You're the expert, because you read the book. And the following day, a TV critic said, that shows you how good Nightline is, that they had this show in the works for weeks to get ready for this controversy.
Are you ever tempted to just make something up? There's nothing, and just make it up. A meteor is headed for Earth. And then just at the end of the hour, and it missed. You know, just...
Do you have a pen?
Yeah, you can write that down.
Good idea. Meteor.
Just meteor.
I like this. This is good.
Also, you could go commit a big crime.
Yeah.
You know, you guys may be in the wrong business.
That's right.
In fact, based on some of these shows, I would believe that.
Oh, but yeah, you just go on, and this reporter, Jeff Greenfield, went on a crazy crime spree today.
Well, if you look at some of the political coverage, you might think we've done that. I mean, I have to say that you know, this daily obsession with a New York Senate race that has not yet begun, on not just on local, but on network.
Oh, yeah, Hillary Clinton is undeclared, Giuliani's undeclared, yet she's listening in New York. He's not running, but every day has a slam about
And the
her.
latest poll shows he's up, she's down. This is where we could use adult supervision. And it happens in part because you have so much time to fill. And you think, okay, look, folks, this is 1999.
Right.
In the old days, back when I was young, listening to Richie Valens, people announced for office the year they were going to be elected or not. That was pretty much the way it happened. Now I think they're declaring, what happens now is the inauguration ends and 10 senators leave the inaugural platform and fly to New Hampshire to start campaigning for the next election, and we follow them like idiots. And it really is a very depressing and sort of silly activity.
So we're a few years away from like 15-year-old boys being sort of, you know, you haven't said you're not running when you're old enough. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like it's an impatience factor to say, well, we all know. Look, Clinton has a year and a half left in his term. He is the president of the United States.
Yeah.
You know, he has nuclear weapons at his disposal, lots of planes. He's an important fellow. But it's almost as if we've canceled that, and we're now moving to the next election.
The next person.
You'd think the New Hampshire primary. I think the New Hampshire primary may already have taken place.
It happened already?
And the only guy who can campaign is Steve Forbes, who has the money for a time machine. Because it is ridiculous.
Well, we're out of time. We have to wrap it up. But before we do, that whole business of everyone focusing on these tiny towns in New Hampshire, you know, they all descend, and it becomes, you know, what one guy says outside a coffee shop becomes endlessly debated. How silly is it getting?
Well, the first thing is all these people in New Hampshire know it. You go up to them, you think you're getting a kind of honest, spontaneous. They say, Art, what do you want, a two-shot? You want a cutaway? You're looking for a 20-second soundbite, maybe? Can we do a...
And it's a guy with a milk pail.
With a lumberjack jacket and a milk pail, and it says, you want a historical aphorism here, or would you like a little anecdote that shows us the down-home people are really folk heroes?
And he counts you down. And 3, 2, 1, and go.
Exactly right.
And then a cow steps in. That's a wrap. And you're done.
That's pretty much it. I mean, also what happens is 50 of us go into a town and we find a candidate shaking hands with one voter.
Right.
It looks like a hostage situation. We surround that poor sucker and follow him down the street. In January, most people in New Hampshire are smart enough to stay inside when it's 5 degrees below zero.
You're the watchdog.
That's
You've got to keep the media in check, because I can't do it. They don't listen to me. CNN's news magazine, CNN and Time, is on Sunday nights. And, Jeff, it's always interesting when you come by. Thank you for doing it. Jeff Greenfield, everybody. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. You win. All right, folks, that's our show for the night. Thank all our guests. Stay tuned for later. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.